to the Sad Dads Club podcast. Here's everybody's favorite sad dads, Jim and Foo.
Week ago or so ago
that we did this show.
I put my Xbox headphones on,
and they were backwards,
and it just not thinking, because usually, the one side has the microphone.
Oh,
but I had just I think I had a YouTube thing playing.
Mm-hmm.
It was like Adam Savage or one of the science ones, and I saw him do something. It was Adam Savage, and I saw him. He was milling something, and he took a moment to look at the camera and start speaking. And normally I'll just kind of let most of that stuff, because I don't have speakers. Everything is like my headset.
Yeah.
So if I want to hear something from my PC, I have to put my headset on. So normally I just kind of like to let some stuff run in the background and with captions on, and I'll just pick it up as it goes. But he stopped for a moment to break down whatever he was doing on his mill and speak directly to camera. And I went, wait, what is he saying? Hold on, I got to hear what he's saying. So I just grabbed my headset, put my headset on, and then listened to what he was saying. And I went, oh, okay. And then just for whatever reason, I just left my headset on. I got into my lunch break, and I went, oh, I'll turn on the Xbox and shoot some aliens in the face for a half hour or something.
Yeah.
And so Destiny loads up. I get into a strike thing, and I'm playing, and I get a random ambient thing coming at me from my left-hand side, and I move my gun and thing over here. I'm like, what the fuck? There's nothing over here. And I'm like, something definitely feels weird, and I'm missing. Something was just off by a little bit. And it wasn't until I went to shoot something on my left that wasn't clearly there.
Yeah.
And when I moved back, because I was still taking damage, and I went, oh, it's fucking, what is going on? And I went, oh, yeah. Anyway.
Well, that's cool.
Anyway, yeah. Spatial fuckery is not fun.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I got a question.
Okay.
We've talked about this a little bit. I don't think we ever talked about this on the show.
Haven't actually done any prison time.
That we're aware of.
Yeah.
How are you about ad blockers? How are you?
Oh.
How are you? What's your feeling on ad blockers?
So it's funny you should mention that.
Yeah.
So as someone we'll ask that. As someone that has provided tech support to people with no ad blockers or any browser protections, my father or my father-in-law, I have. Are you asking for me supporting the site monetarily, where I'm at, or
all the above, really?
Okay,
but that's kind of the main crux of it, really.
Okay. With regards to YouTube, I pay for premium.
Yeah.
So I don't get ads.
You don't get ads.
I don't get ads. It is super irritating to me to be working on the iMac and doing Sad Dad's show stuff, logged in as the shared Sad Dad login.
Yeah.
And then to see something in a tile on the iMac and be like, oh, that's actually interesting. And click on it and then get ad. And eye roll. I will. So that's irritating.
But if you're paying for it, then you're not.
I don't see ads.
You don't see ads.
Not on my main rig.
But you don't log into that on the iMac?
No, because unless I'm tied up on the PC and I'm switching hardcore to something that's personal stuff that I wouldn't want to taint. If you log into Sad Dads, I wouldn't want you to see ASMR boot stuff. So if I'm going to change my perspective, my eye gaze or my posture and stuff, instead of looking at my PC, and I want to change my orientation and watch something on the iMac, then yes, I will log out Sad Dads and log in me, and then I don't get ads. So that is irritating. Browser ads as someone that has done, as someone of our age that has been through the early inception of the internet, where it was mainly content, and that has evolved over time to the outsourcing of browser space towards ad companies like you would in a magazine or a newspaper selling pages to, get your attention. I find that super irritating. That's why I enjoyed Twitter so much for news intake, because while there were ads, it really was streamlined. It was like, this is just the information that I want. I can curate it, so I'm just getting a data feed, not ads.
Yeah.
So for a while, I had, what was the Chrome? It was uBlocker or something like that.
Okay. There's a ton of them out there.
There is. And in the end, for me, I started to find, especially with the kids. Now, I think Piper, for the most part, does most of her browsing and stuff on her phone. It's not a blanket safety thing, but generally, if she's doing more stuff on her phone, I feel like that's typically more of a container that she's not going to get compromised as easy as if she was browsing on her PC, which she doesn't really do. Xander does more stuff on his PC, but my observation in what his interests are, I'm taking a big leap, which I know is probably a mistake, that he's not quite dabbling in stuff that he shouldn't. So I haven't gotten there yet. Personally,
maybe he has his own VPN.
He doesn't use a normal browser either. I think he uses Opera, actually. And he may have gotten that from some of his friends that were Chrome and Explorer agnostic.
I used Opera for a while.
Right. He's, I think, probably with the exception of Piper, Xander has never gotten to a place where he shouldn't have been, and the computer gotten trashed. Not like either of my father-in-laws. I found at some point, the uBlocker, the Chrome extension that I was using, to be not effective at stopping ads. So I run, as of probably late summer, when I got the spoon moment from doing the garage door thing, the home bridge, I actually installed at the same time Pi-hole, which is I use that a software stack called Pi-hole on my Raspberry Pi, and that has a set of DNS filters and whatnot on it that I use on my only me in the house. Use that as my DNS server, and my PC, everything on my PC, as far as certainly browser stuff, runs through my Pi-hole and then out to the internet. Right into the Pi-hole. So, it doesn't do some bullshit with like trying to detect whether or not there's a malicious ads. I straight up don't get fed any ads in any space that's sold to ad places.
Oh, interesting.
So
they have some sort of list that they keep updated.
Yes,
yeah.
And it is. Any search will tell you. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's absolutely awesome. Now there are some false positives, but for the most part, I don't run into like a Chrome extension ad blocker that may or may not be up to date. This Pi-hole thing is like legit.
Yeah.
And it's not running on my system. It intercepts all my traffic and does everything for me.
Yeah.
It is it's super impressive. Why haven't I rolled that out to everyone else in the house? The enterprise me is like, I'm going to beta this for me, and then I'll stealth. Well, Xander won't listen to this before Christmas. I will run Xander's game.
What's the DNS numbers, Dad?
Yeah, I will. Right, I will put it on his gaming rig and see if he notices, and it'll just be there right out of the gate. And if he comes to me like, why can't I get to some of these places that I used to get? And I'll be like, well, why were you going there in the first place? So we'll see if I can just
switcheroo
shell game it, and he'll never even know.
Yeah,
Venus should be running it, and there's no reason she shouldn't be. None of the phone, my phone doesn't do it, but my PC does, and I've been super impressed with the experience.
Yeah, I mean, like most everybody's on some portable thing.
Right.
And I don't really consider ads on like the iPhone to be too much of a problem. I don't watch a lot of YouTube on my phone, but when I do, it's annoying as fuck to get served ads there.
Sure. Yes.
And I'm also about it's definitely something I struggle with mentally. Like, I want to block these ads, but also these people that I watch all the time need to get paid.
Oh, sure.
So I feel bad about that if I'm blocking ads.
I do on occasion, but like I said, I for YouTube specifically, I pay.
Yeah.
I am also not shy with content creators that I enjoy the content of. I buy merch.
Sure.
Like
Mighty Car Mods.
Mighty Car Mods, I buy their stuff.
Yeah.
I've tried to buy a couple things from Vice Grip Garage. Well, I bought I think 1 year I bought. No, somebody gave me beanies.
I did. Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
So I know you have. I try to patronage without doing ads. One, I'm paying for it, so I know that my subscription service should be doled out to those that are making content. That's how I at least how I square the deal with YouTube specifically.
Yeah.
And I buy merch. I try to buy merch.
So is your YouTube subscription, is it just for your user, or can other people in the house take advantage of that?
Well,
it's just for you, right?
No, it's because I've upgraded mine to family.
Oh, okay.
Whether or not Venus and Piper
subscribe to that,
are using it. I know Xander is, because when we went to Fiji, Xander really wanted to download a couple playlists to his or videos of like some playlists that he has on YouTube to his phone, and the freemium service that YouTube offers wouldn't allow you to do something, and music wasn't also covered. And I'm like, I don't know, I pay, so I have all those features. But at the time, we couldn't get it rigged up at the time before we left for Fiji. So, but Xander, I know, uses at least does now, but that was post Fiji.
Yeah, I mean, we pay for a bunch of services. We've got Fubo. Like the top-notch Fubo, like every single channel.
Do you still get fed ads?
Oh yeah, because it's regular TV.
Oh,
so you get all the ads that whatever that channel's playing as far as ads you get.
Yeah.
So we're paying. We got that, and then of course we have like Netflix and Disney Plus, and a couple others off the top of my head. I can't remember what they are.
Hulu?
Huh?
Hulu?
Yes.
Did we? But that irritates me.
Like, when you pay for a subscription and get ads.
For paying for Hulu, as part of my Disney Plus like trio package, I think I've got ESPN Plus on there, Hulu, and Disney Plus. I think we probably covered it while I was watching The Bear. If I didn't, to be paying for that subscription, and to still get ads, that feels like double dipping to me.
Yeah.
As a consumer, like, no.
But if you think about it from a television subscription or cable TV standpoint, you pay for the service and you get served ads no matter what. So it's the same sort of thing.
But I can also, if I'm watching TV, say I'm just watching on Xfinity, I'm watching something, I can pause it.
Right. And then skip it. Sure.
With Hulu, you're watching the ad.
Yeah.
Like, you're bound to watch the ad.
Yeah. You can't do anything once you're in the ad.
Now, if you're like, what was it, Netflix? I don't know if they rolled it out. Netflix was doing that they were going to offer a plan that allowed you to subscribe but get some ads at a lower subscription than someone that got the full Monty with no ads.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like if you want to pay less but get some ads than someone who pays full Monty and gets no ads, well, you're choosing that.
Yeah.
I pay a full subscription to Hulu and still get ads. Like that feels wrong to me.
Yeah.
Like, and I can't skip it. I can't skip them.
Right.
Like you're 3, 2, 1. Like the amount,
or sometimes it's like your content will play after this ad.
Right. The amount of hims and hers jokes that Piper and I were running back and forth while trying to watch The Bear.
Yeah.
Like it's a running satire with the both of us now. Hims. Do you have PP problems?
Right.
Hims. Can't find your keys? Hers. You know, it.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I asked is because for a long time I've just run an ad blocker.
Okay.
I use Safari on the Mac.
Okay.
I don't really care for the other browsers much, but I use Safari on the Mac. And so I've had an ad blocker that I don't remember which one it is for a while that has worked really well. Fucking works in YouTube really well. Blocks the ads. Like you don't get ads. You don't get them in the list of your videos that it suggests to you, and you don't get them in the middle of the show.
What does it do instead?
You just get served the show.
Oh, okay.
Whatever the video it is.
Okay.
And it just, where there's an ad in the video list, it's just an empty space.
Okay.
And that has worked for a really long time, and it's great. And then all of a sudden I read an article that talked about how YouTube is going to be going hard on not allowing ad blockers on their service.
Okay.
And I went, oh, here we go.
Right.
And then it was a couple of months and nothing. I didn't see there was no messages or anything strange. And then one day, a message popped up like, you've got an ad blocker. I'm like, fuck, here we go. This is the beginning.
Right.
And so I just would like click through it and it would let me play the video. And then it got to the point where it's like, we're going to give you 3 videos before we just block your access.
Oh,
kind of a thing. And
okay.
I went, fuck. Okay. So then I went in and turned off the ad blocker. And then I just dealt with it. So then on YouTube, it's like ads are showing up in the list, which is not a big deal. But then when you click it, you get an ad.
Okay.
And then you watch the show and then it breaks it in the middle and then you get an ad and then you watch the show and it breaks. And it's like, if it's a 40-minute show, you're watching just as many ads as if you were watching TV.
Right. Yes.
And it's frustrating.
Yes, I would.
Because it's a time killer.
Sure.
So I was like, there's got to be a better way. Somebody has figured out a way to do this. So I started a little deep dive.
Without getting banned.
Yeah.
Right, because the result is it detects your thing and it... or not a ban, but it...
Yeah, without getting dinged.
Right.
So I found on Reddit there was this thread about this. People are looking to do the same thing. And some guy had written this. So you download this like JavaScript-based tool.
Okay.
That's a Safari plugin. And then you take his code that he's written that's an ad blocker, essentially.
Okay.
And you paste it into this JavaScript thing, and then you just run it on YouTube. And basically it just... I don't know. It just somehow like skipped the ads. It didn't act like a regular blocker.
Okay.
In the sense that it was like no, but it pretended like it took the ad, but then somehow was able to skip through to the actual video. So you might get a little hit of the thing at the beginning, like a very short, like a couple of frames or something.
Okay.
And then we get right into the video, and it worked. So for a few weeks, that worked great. And then all of a sudden, one day, it didn't.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, that sucks. So then I'm back to watching ads. And I'm like, fuck, someone has got to have figured out a way to do this. So then a couple days ago, I think it was over the weekend, I got frustrated and did another search for a YouTube. Now I don't care. Like, now it's just me and YouTube. We're in this fight now.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
That's how I'm looking at it now.
We're going to the table, bitch.
Oh, now I'm going to figure out how to block you
and
not have you know.
Yeah.
So I did a search on how to block specifically YouTube, not even an ad blocker for anything else, just YouTube.
Right.
And found a Safari plugin or extension called Vinegar.
Okay.
And what Vinegar does is interesting because it doesn't ad block like most ad blockers. It reroutes the video through to, instead of putting in the YouTube player into your screen, it puts the macOS video player and streams the HLS video stream from YouTube.
Okay.
But that doesn't show the ads. So it thinks it's getting ads, and you kind of will see it sometimes, like before it blips in and shows the Mac player.
Okay.
And it works really well. So right now I feel like I've got a leg up, like, haha, fuck you guys.
Right.
And I would be more apt to pay for it if it was cheaper, because I think YouTube's subscription is a little bit on the expensive side.
Sure.
Especially when you compare it to other streaming services that have super high quality shit on there.
Mm-hmm.
That's part, I don't mind paying for stuff if it's in line with what I would consider to be decently priced.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that YouTube's pricing is a little high, in my opinion. Now, I don't know. That's just me. But also, like, you're now telling me what I can and can't do on my computer.
Right.
Right? And that pissed me off.
Mm.
Like, oh no, they're like saying to me, oh no, motherfucker, you will do ads.
I should test. I should test for science. Like, tie the iMac into my pie hole, and with sad dads,
It just sounds so funny.
The whole thing fits, I assure you. And see what happens with sad dads, what it does to YouTube. Because the pie hole is the thing that intercepts the traffic.
Right.
So I don't have anything on
your local computer.
On the PC,
right,
or nothing would be on the iMac. The pie hole intercepts.
My assumption is the pie hole just says, oh, this is ad, so we're not going to serve it. We're not letting it through. Right? So which is, I would assume that's a little bit different than an ad blocker on your local
I think
system.
So, but I don't know what that looks like. Did pie hole come across in your divings?
No.
I don't know what that looks like.
No,
so I'd be curious to see what happens.
Pi hole's a Raspberry Pi, like Unix thing, right?
Yeah.
So no, I think also isn't there? I mean, there's VPNs you can subscribe to which claim. My understanding is that they claim to block ads as well, which is a similar thing to what you're doing. But instead of doing it here locally at the Raspberry Pi, it's happening somewhere else.
Sure.
And they have some sort of filter on their servers that procure that for you.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't understand how it all works.
So here's what happened. Like, I have this written down, but it adds specifically. So we've come from the area of commercials, like normal TV before cable.
Yeah.
Right? TV.
Yeah.
You're watching the commercial, right? So 2 weeks back, Sunday, football on Sundays. This year, for whatever reason, I'm paying more attention to football. Piper is semi-interested in football, so it's like a topic of conversation.
Okay.
I'm paying attention to football games on Sunday. I am working. The Niners are playing, and so I'm like, I'm going to check in and see if I can stream the game over here in between the lull times and just like leave it running. It's playing. Fox is streaming it.
Okay.
Log in, use your Xfinity. You can watch it for free if you leverage
have a cable subscription.
Sure. Xfinity login pushes a thing, brings up a window. You can watch the box score in like text, or you can actually watch the streaming game. Fantastic. Click play on the streaming window, and it starts playing. 30 seconds into it, someone blows a fucking whistle on the field. AT&T wireless.
Oh,
blah,
yeah.
blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, okay. It's like a 15-second ad, maybe, cuts back to the game. And I'm like, well, okay.
Well, wait. Did that interrupt the game?
Yes, because it was the guy blew a whistle, so I thought, oh, like it's a penalty timeout. I'm not really worried because there was going to be an official
So do you
thing.
think that was like a timeout in the actual broadcast? Or...
No.
Oh.
No, I don't.
Oh, is this where you're headed?
Oh, here's where we're going. So I'm like, oh, it's an official timeout or something. Whatever. I go back to work, and then a minute and a half, 2 minutes into having click play,
like a play
then
and a half.
it like timers out. It's like, oh, are you still watching? Fuck. Okay. Click play.
Yeah.
It streams back up. I watch maybe a set of like first down, second down, third down.
Yeah.
And it gets to fourth down. Hike the ball. Kicker takes it, and then AT&T wireless.
Oh my God.
In the middle of the fucking play. And I went, okay, that wasn't even a stoppage of play. And I went, well, that's fucking retarded. Like, sorry, #sorry Shan. I shouldn't have said that. That's not nice.
That is uncool.
That is not very nice. Now I'm like mildly irritated.
Right.
I go on lunch break. And so when I'm paying attention to more of the game, I could not get a streamed 3-minute block without an ad or, are you still watching? Yeah, I'm fucking... So then it was like some little game where I'm trying to keep my mouse wiggled, so thinking, is it just... does it not want... Does it think I'm recording it? There's no one here, and they're trying to kill off unused sessions as far as like bandwidth. Like, this is dumb. So I'm moving my mouse, I'm adjusting stuff in the window, and it will cut out, think I'm like idle or whatever. Constantly. And number of times it would throw me an ad in the middle of a play. Not a stoppage of play, not like first down, they've got to move the markers. Yeah, there's probably 30 seconds in there where you can stuff me something. Anyone who's watched football, Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, a broadcast football, if there is a stoppage of play, they're going to chuck you that 2-minute ad block. 2 minutes and 2 seconds.
Right.
Like Chuck Wooler, they'll be back in 2 and 2.
That's not what most ad blocks are now.
No, this was...
They're like 4 or 5 minutes.
I honestly thought I was served more ads trying to stream it than if I'd have just walked out
and watch it on TV.
Pulled it on Fox and just sat down and watched it on TV.
Sure.
Like, no, what the fuck is going on?
Right.
It was absolutely irritating. And then to be like, well, I just want to listen to it.
Yeah.
And to then nothing I could do would like keep it going.
Yeah.
It's super. And the ads, like I'm paying for it. You're using my subscription cable service to log me into here. You know I'm paying for this.
Yeah.
If you're going to give me an ad...
I have access to this channel.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're going to give me an ad in synergy with the TV broadcast, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm watching TV. Fantastic. If you're going to give me an ad every time someone farts hard or looks at, something... Or official looks at his flag to like he's going to throw it and you fucking bounce me...
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Dude, an absolute jarring experience. Yeah. And I'm paying for it. Like, no, please. Fuck all, no.
I might have tried to figure out where to fire off an email and be like, have a raging email at somebody.
Yeah. If I had not been working, I probably would have. And then it was just like, And then last week was the same kind of thing. I can't remember what game I was trying to watch. And I'm like, I'm already prepared for this. But it was and I'm like, I'm moving my mouse. And nope. And then, I don't know who was here. I'm cussing like even more than I am now from like The Office. Like it was super low chill, but I couldn't exactly leave the office, so it was a very, very light work day.
Yeah.
I'm trying to catch a game. I can't leave the office. I can't go do the TV, so I know I'm going to be struggling. Like maybe last week was just like
a fluke.
A fluke. Absolutely not. Fox Sports just ham-fisted, double-arm, shoved ads up me all evening or morning.
Because that becomes unwatchable. Like, it's not worth even having it on.
No, I ended up just watching the text because I didn't have to refresh it. It kept it streaming.
Yeah.
You know, it's not as interesting as watching the play. But the ad breaks. Okay, we're going down here, Troy. It's 3rd and 14, and he's behind the center. He's got a wing back there, and okay, he's drops back to pass AT&T Wireless. What the fuck? It's 3rd and 14, and and he hiked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would piss me off.
Fun fact: I have the same struggles with Boreal's mountain cams.
Oh,
they have like
really?
a 20-second. Piper and her crew went up to like watch the stuff. Boreal has like a mountain cam looking at the main lift and the 2 runs and the snow park off to the side. A really nice setup that allows like the amount of, it shows you the concurrent viewers, and they have I think 4 or 5 cameras, and based off of how many people are watching, you can actually vote to change the perspective of the camera stream.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Pretty cool,
yeah.
Except the whole stream and your session times out after like 30 seconds. So it's like, click play to watch more of the Boreal Mountain Camp. Like, yeah. So I tried to, is it that I'm not voting? Like, so every 20 seconds, the vote comes up. Like every 20 seconds, I'm not going to click this thing for 10 minutes every 20 seconds.
Right.
But it didn't seem to matter. Every once in a while, and then some asshat, like while I'm trying to watch some newbie struggle on the snow park and like go off for a rail, and I'm like, oh, is he going to fucking eat it? And then some butthole changes the perspective to the other side of the lift. And I'm like, I'm trying to watch someone bash their teeth in here, man. Come on.
I mean, that's a similar thing to like YouTube's skip ad button. You know, it's almost like, are you here?
Yeah.
Because if you are, you're going to want to click this button.
Yeah.
You're here. Cool. All right, we'll keep playing the video.
Yeah. You like these metrics? Where in the box does the user click? Over here?
Yeah. Not a bot? Oh, really?
Are you sure?
Click all the pictures that have crosswalks in them. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't get it right. Do another one.
Yeah.
No, there were more than that.
How many motorcycles are in here? What? There's no. Oh, well, yeah. Have another one.
I find it really frustrating. I just like when they're like determining what's happening on my screen. You know, I mean, when they're like, "Oh, really? An ad blocker, huh?"
Right.
Not today, buddy.
Yeah. I just find that what the pie hole has done for. It happened a lot with when Piper was in high school, and I was still trying to re-onboard myself with like some physics stuff and some math stuff and pre-calculus stuff, and to get on some of these school sites that are what seems like 70% sold ad real estate and 30% substance.
Yeah.
Like
those are like, it's like, you know what that reminds me of? The recipe websites that they write like a whole article about their whole life story.
Oh, yes.
And you got to scroll down like 16 pages in order to get to the recipe.
And this is the cream that my grandma used to keep her skin.
Exactly.
Anyway, so this is the recipe for candied walnuts. Like, I don't need to know.
Right. Keep scrolling. Keep scrolling.
The time that your mom met Betty Crocker and she was a racist. Like, what does that have to do with your chocolate chip recipe? Nothing. Because you're not even using Betty Crocker's. Like,
yeah.
Where scroll, PDF to print, scroll.
Yeah, this was a recipe, right? Not your fucking story about when you farted in math class.
Yeah, and most of this is probably written by ChatGPT anyway. Write me a story, a heartwarming story about my grandma and her skin condition.
And her psoriasis.
And 70% of the way, throw in a chocolate chip cookie recipe. At the end, be sure to include a conclusion about how she cured her gout.
With cherry juice.
Yeah, with bathing in pomegranate and Worcestershire sauce.
And lots of celery sticks.
Yeah, she butt chugged the sun.
I mean, it's weird how to watch the web sort of evolve or even devolve.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of sad because where we came from was this like promised land, and where we're going is this commercial wasteland.
Right.
And it's kind of frustrating to see that kind of happen and take place.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like at some point it's there. You're not going to be able to get around it. There won't be any way to block it,
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah. And then I would agree. At some point it just becomes which service can you probably end up paying for that's going to mitigate the most amount of distractions.
It's whack-a-mole, right? It's the same thing that we had with MyQ in the last show. It's a similar thing, right?
Sure.
You're playing whack-a-mole. Everyone's playing whack-a-mole right now.
And you used to be able to kind of get around that with browsers. Then it became extensions. And now you've got some of these more advanced, like the pie holes or VPNs.
Yeah.
They're just kind of trying to...
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to outbest the other one.
Yeah.
And eventually it's going to become,
I think
which subscription service does it for you.
I think it's actually, all things considered, it's very impressive that they're able to be like, you've got an ad blocker. You load the page up and hit play, and they're like, oh, I see you've got an ad blocker, motherfucker.
Hey, buddy.
They're like, is that your son watching behind you too? And you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
It's kind of bizarre to think that that's how much data they can glean out of your system.
Oh, yeah.
From just loading their page.
Just watching.
Yeah. That's scary.
Mm.
Scary. And I don't know what, I don't write code for a living, but I don't know how they're detecting that. How do they even know? You know what I mean? I don't.
Cookies, bitch.
Is it cookies?
I think it's the cookies. Sure.
You think the ad blocker does something with cookies?
Oh, well, I'm talking about how they know.
How do they know I'm running an ad blocker?
Oh, yeah, I think,
that's crazy.
Paying, where's your traffic going? The access to the browser is formidable.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of bizarre. Anyway, like I said, it's a double-edged sword, and I understand that.
Yeah.
And all the content creators that I enjoy on YouTube certainly should be paid for sure.
Absolutely.
However, with YouTube having such a hard stance on this stuff, now it's like just a game. It's a cat and mouse for me. You know, if I have to go back to watching ads for a week or two, so be it. But for now, I have figured out a way to say fuck right off.
Yeah.
I
agree.
I'm not always like that, but
here's the brutal, honest truth for me. I couldn't tell you how much I'm paying for YouTube Premium. And it's probably,
I think it's like $17 a month or $20 a month, or
the family one may be closer to 30.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But part of that, as long as Xander is using it, perhaps it keeps an ad that maybe I'm not ready for him. Not that it would
Viagra ads.
Yeah, who knows? Is it? No, probably not at this point. But if he doesn't get lost in the weeds for something that he shouldn't be fed anyway, that's something. Is it high? most likely. But for me, the amount of stuff, and we've talked about it at length here, the amount of knowledge, the amount of utility that I get out of YouTube, you'd be hard.
That's true.
I also pay for News Plus on Apple's service.
Yeah.
During heavy politics and election season, I guarantee you with that subscription, that's actually like part of their bigger conglomerate, Apple Plus.
Apple One or whatever. Yeah.
Like Amazon Prime, I guarantee you I get my money's worth and some with the amount of information I digest. YouTube, for me, has been just I'd be hard pressed.
It's a life resource.
I'd be hard pressed to actually put a monetary value on the knowledge I've gained, and that's aside from the entertainment.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
I said, it's double-edged sword.
I don't like that there's a huge outflow of, the same thing, like I just this month alone, I did one of the it's Mathway and Chegs, which are two real popular like math like school instruction sites that allow you to like break down problems and whatnot. I'm not happy that I'm paying for that either, but I have leveraged both of those. I think they're the same entity at this point. But in helping Piper for her pre-calculus physics for 2 years in high school, and now working with Xander for his first like decent sized math class, and he's got physics coming up. It has been more than helpful to me to have. It has been a super valuable resource. I'm not happy that I have to pay for it, but I appreciate that it has helped me help my kids, and they need my money.
Yeah.
They deserve it because it has helped me.
I mean, I get it. Back in the early 2000s, I had Tony Overbay, who has been on this show several times. Him and I ran a website together, and I've talked about this before, kingsuperfans.com. And we actually ran an ad server in our hosting space to run ads for companies that we basically did trades with. Do you remember Basketball Town? You ever heard of Basketball Town? Down in Rancho Cordova, there used to be a place off of Folsom, like in 50, in between like Sunrise and Hazel. There was a company down there called Basketball Town, and it was owned, I think Bobby Jackson was part owner of it or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it was like a basketball bunch of
gyms. Like
it was a
courts?
basketball gym. Yeah, a bunch of courts inside.
Kind of like the thing up here off Industrial.
Yeah, kind of like that. And they had, leagues and stuff. And so my brother was like, "Oh, do you want to play in our league?" And so we were playing ball there. And I went to the manager and I was like, "Hey, I run this website, kingsuperfans.com, and would you be interested in running an ad on our site for like to cover like half of our team's cost?" And he was like, "Sure." So we ran an ad on our ad server, So that was just like one example of several that we had that were just rotating on the site that would just change all the time. So I mean, I totally get it's a revenue stream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it pains me to know that when I kill an ad out, it potentially has an effect on that creator. I understand that.
Sure. Yeah.
But also the part of me that says, "Oh, we're going to fight about this now."
Right. Well, and there's two, right? Some of those ads and how they deliver the ads are so advanced that it's also the foot in the door towards some of the malicious shit that gets dumped on you through your browser.
Yeah.
So the pie hole keeps a lot of that, like, you know, the mouse overs and the injection stuff. Like it doesn't even get an opportunity if I end up somewhere that's, you know, or someone that's not necessarily a nefarious site or someone that's like on the bleeding edge, but they've perhaps been compromised. The pie hole, those spaces are just flat out gone. So there's no opportunity for me. That's why it's kind of like we talked about last week. Ads that are intended to be ads and ad spaces that are sold to be just ads that then get cross-leveraged by asshats, taint the experience for the people who are just trying to make money through ads. Like, I wouldn't have to really worry.
It makes those people look bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Not only the host, because your IT department is fucking inept, because the security isn't there. It's for the blatant truth that not everyone can be on top of their security game at every moment of every time. Sometimes you're just looking for a recipe for something, and you end up on someone's blog that has some highly rated Google analytic thing that gets fed to you. So you're like, oh man, that looks like there's like 52,000 like 5 stars. Like, absolutely, I would be curious, but it's like random dude.blog. Com. You click on it, and it's been compromised, and now you're getting blue screen. Hi, you contact Microsoft support. Dial this number. You've been infected, and you end up on the scammer call things as someone.
I literally last week got a
lockup,
a message from my father-in-law about that happening on his Mac.
No way.
Yeah, and I went, whoa, hold on.
Shut the lid.
And it's a Mac Mini, new machine, M2 Mac Mini.
Right.
And he's like, I got this thing up, and I'm like, oh shit. Now I'm like, can I figure this out? And I said, can you restart the machine? And he's like, it tells me not to. I'm like, I don't care. Restart it. And it came right back up, and I'm like, okay, wait a second. I said, are you in Safari right now? Is that a tab in Safari?
Right.
And he's like, yeah, because he's like 83.
Right.
And I'm like, just close that tab. Close the tab. And I just got lucky that and then I had him download a virus scanner.
Yeah.
I forget what the name of it was. Bitdefender. Had him download Bitdefender.
Yeah.
And scanned his computer, and it quarantined like 3 or 4 things.
Uh-huh.
And his machine was fine.
I have never seen the PC shenanigans on my Mac.
Yeah, I have never either.
So
now, I think
he wasn't using Chrome.
He was on a recipe website. He was looking up a recipe for salmon something and clicked on the wrong thing, and it came up.
And that's why it's scary like when I'm sitting at the table working with Xander on a math problem, and a lot of times I'll just start typing in the word problem, and I get tons of hits, and I'll click on one on my phone, and I can tell as someone who's advanced and been around the horn, like if Xander was to be doing this, I'd be concerned, because Xander just doesn't have the been around the block.
Right.
The browsing experience to know, click here to download the solution, and he'd be like, oh well, fucking why wouldn't I? And it's a banner ad for someone selling fucking dick pills or something.
Right.
It's like,
yeah,
you're making why? It's getting hard.
Well,
but I
and-
haven't seen that on a Mac, so that's interesting.
Yeah, and they format a lot of these ads to make it look like it's part of the content.
Oh yeah, God
so
damn.
it's hard to tell.
You remember
sometimes.
like the early years with fucking torrents and stuff, and you'd be like, "Yeah, I want to download that Metallica album," and there are like 4 banner ads that are like, "Click here to download. Click here to download." You're
right.
like, which one? And it's the text, text one in between all the banner ads. And you're like, how many people are now part of a botnet?
Right.
Because they're like, well, I'm clicking on it. Yeah. And what? I didn't get it. Where's the album?
Right.
And some dude in Poland's like, yes, you download the album. Good for you, dumbass.
I break into bank now.
Yes. You help me get in Citibank. All right, number 1. Fuck. You know, USA, you guys, good big computers.
Thanks for use of Pentium.
We are, yeah. DX2 66. We still have crank.
Honey, get in the lobby. Go get the milk.
Shit. Man.
Oh, man, yeah. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting. And I don't know, we'll see what happens.
I have homework. I need to do the...
Yeah. I'm curious though, because what I've been thinking about doing lately is subscribing to a VPN.
Yeah.
And using a VPN for ad blocking for the whole house. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like not going too far. Mike was talking to me about, because if you're someone that has solar, they're playing all kinds of. It used to be a sweet deal. If you had solar panels, you got to sell back your power at market rate, not at like some PG&E and whatever lawmakers are doing. I'm probably speaking out of turn, but to summarize it, they've adjusted the rates to where if you've got solar, you're no longer in part of that like grandfathered. You get market rate for your power you sell back.
Right.
You're not getting it. And Mike is now at the point where he's like, well, if you're going to take away the incentive to sell it back and I'm not going to get that same price, well, you don't get my power.
Yeah, if I'm not using it, if
you're not going to get me, So he is now in the perspective of, well, you could have had in peak hours my battery to help supplement the grid as my contribution because I've got it and you need help in brownout scenarios in the middle of the summer. It's 3 digits.
Right.
Like you need help. And I have battery backup. I can contribute to the grid. He's like, no, you get nothing from me. Nothing. I am self-sustaining. You get nothing from me. You took away, the MyQ thing. You took away, the stuff that we were working cool. We were cool, man.
Yeah,
everything was cool.
I mean, that was one of the benefits of having solar.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. And he's like, well, now I control it.
Yeah,
it's like you consider me part of the grid and you want my battery? No.
Making extra power, I guess I'll just hang on to whatever I can and the rest is going to go to waste or I'll just run a bunch of lights.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look at me.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Let me throw another fridge in the house.
You guys are having problems out there? I just lifted the windows and turned the AC on. I'm good, bitch. I'll run this for 20 minutes with the windows open till I drain whatever I want from my battery and then I'm going to call a PG&E guy and be like, hey, look at this! Look at this cold air. It's blowing
out the window.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Huh? 7 cents a kilowatt, huh? Suck it.
Yeah, I know.
Super frustrating. Super frustrating.
It's weird because I feel like there's an opportunity for consumers or the average people that have always subscribed. I mean, solar's been around for a long time. A lot of people have had this stuff for a long time. Mm-hmm. Now they're just getting squeezed for no reason.
Yeah.
Those people that have had solar have probably repaid, paid for their own equipment or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But all these new houses that have brand new solar, there's no incentive for them to really feed back to the grid or,
Right.
So but also that's a problem for people like, I understand it's a problem for people like PG&E and Roseville Electric and, so the Southern California Edison or whatever. They've got the expense to keep and maintain these giant grids. And then suddenly all these houses are coming online that don't require all the power and they can't get income out of them, but yet they still have this giant grid to maintain. I can see that being a problem.
I would be after the last month
Not
or so.
PG&E because they just fucking burn communities down, but and then charge them way more money.
Well, you mean we should have been maintaining and
trimming trees?
limbing trees?
Yeah.
The last month, as far as these price fluctuations and the change in solar and Mike's battery thing, I would be hard pressed to only put panels on my home. I believe
to only put
panels.
Oh,
because then
you would want a battery.
I would want a battery.
Because in the evening you would have to run off electric power. Is that what you're saying?
I just think that having that control and being able to with how they're no longer incentivizing the sell back.
Yeah.
Well, why would I?
Well, yeah, because during the day you would be in the positive if you weren't running a bunch of shit or whatever. If it's a nice day and it's sunny out, you're generating power, and that's going to feed out to the grid, and you're going to get essentially you'll be in the green,
right,
or the black. You'll be in the black for the day, and then the evening comes. If you don't have a battery, you've got to now get power from the grid,
right, and then like the winter,
and that would offset it,
right? Yeah, so it'd be like, well, why would I not want to retain some of that? So I have to pay you less.
Right.
If you're not going to give me money,
right,
then I'm going to bank it.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys.
That's the battery wall stuff is that's important now.
Yeah.
It wasn't for a while.
I agree. Yeah. It was like, well, yeah, if I'm not using it and it's positive and you're going to give me cash money, absolutely. Yeah. Take it, but pay me.
But all those people that have solar that now aren't getting paid off the grid anymore, their bills just went up. If they don't have a battery wall or whatever,
sure,
their output to a power company has gone up, even though they have solar.
Right, they're not getting any more sunshine.
No,
and they're getting paid less per kilowatt hour.
Yeah,
that may have, helped them meet or exceed net positive on their electric bill.
Right,
and at less power per kilowatt, they either use it and get paid less because they are no longer in such a surplus, or they run a bunch of power and the money no longer helps them break even.
Well, and it's weird to think about too, because the main draw on the grid typically is in the evening when people start getting home. It's like in the summertime, right? People are getting home around between 4:30 and 6:30. That's when people are starting to come home.
Appliances.
Turn on appliances and run the fucking dishwasher and run the washing machine and the dryer and all the shit. TV's going on, the computer's going. Yeah, all that stuff. So, at the time when you could be giving back to the grid when no one's home for most people, right, is now no longer viable anymore.
Right. And some of these people, right, the further we get to, what is it, 2025 and 2030? What is California's EV 2030?
Oh, the edict? I don't even know. Yeah.
But the further we get towards that, there are only more and more people coming home and jacking in an EV right now and taking from the grid.
True.
No. If you're no, I'm gonna bank, put a power wall in or whatever. I think Mike has Franklin's. Whatever battery wall setup you choose to do. No, man. I'm gonna fill that thing with solar, and then when I get home with my EV, I'm going to dump my battery to my EV. I'm not pulling from you anymore.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. You know,
Yeah.
they're going to start missing out on that because they're more worried in the short term about, we're not making as much anymore. Like, fucking, you're missing the boat here.
Yeah, I mean, I think I understand. Like I said earlier, I think I understand why they feel there's a need to do it.
Sure.
Because they're getting less income.
Yeah,
and
they're still a business.
Yeah, they got a giant thing to maintain, and
Yeah, I don't fault them. It wouldn't be
but
my business.
I don't
choice.
like it. Yeah, doesn't mean I like it.
I don't like it.
Now, I think it's funny, ironically, that now, after all is said and done, that we're seeing ads now about PG&E burying their fucking lines in the ground, which is what I said they should have been doing forever.
You guys should have been digging trenches.
Yeah.
Long ass time ago.
And they don't even have to dig trenches anymore. Have you seen how those things work? It's fascinating. It's like a tool. So it's on the back of a truck, and they have a big line that kind of comes over the truck and then goes down into this almost like a probe that goes down into the ground, and the line runs into the probe, and the probe gets stuck down in the ground and is dragged through the ground, and the line gets deposited with this like bit that's in the ground. It like runs it down, and they don't even dig a trench and then drop it in. It happens all in one swoop.
I'll be damned.
It's crazy. It's just essentially like if you took a screwdriver and put a string on the bottom, and ran it through a hole, and then just drug the screwdriver through the ground, and the string stayed. That's what's happening. It's crazy.
I'll be damned.
Yeah, they don't even need to drug.
Like
they don't even need
like
to do
a sewing
trenches.
machine, just a long thing. Like it.
Yeah. It just doesn't keep pushing. It just stays in the ground, and they just drag it, and it just kind of like gets fed in, and as they drag it along. It's really cool, but they don't even have to like come in and get the backhoe and dig fucking 9,000 feet and then drop a line. They don't do that shit anymore.
They don't put in any tubes.
I mean, unless I assume they've got fucking granite rock or something
right
that's in the way. But yeah, if it's like soft enough dirt, they'll just drag this thing and it just deposits the cable right in the ground. It's kind of crazy.
Why don't they just do that so I can finally have fucking fiber?
Because I think because you have a street and concrete sidewalks.
Son of a bitch.
Right?
Well, just call up Elon and get him to dig a tunnel from Mahaney.
Now, speaking of that, I did see a really neat video on how they were installing Google Fiber in neighborhoods, which is a similar sort of thing. Now, they do have to dig trenches. Fascinating thing. They're not digging remember back when they started putting cable in the neighborhoods and they were digging a trench that was like 3 or 4 inches wide, and they would come in with a big thing and trench it out and then lay the cable in. They're not doing that anymore. It was like a saw's width because it's fiber. So the cables are tiny. You know what I mean? And so they start on one side of the street, and then they basically saw across the road and then drop the cable in, and then come back and fill it in with like hand tools, basically, to fill in the asphalt back over the hole.
You aren't helping Sure West.
That's what I'm saying.
Fidium, whatever.
It's Fidium now.
Yeah.
Well, it's consolidated, but Fidium is their new fiber.
And your son probably gets it too. Hey, we look forward to communicating with you as soon as we're done with construction in your area. I'm like, don't send me shit until you're here.
I have never seen you in my area, so fuck right off.
Tell you what, buddy, it's been 13 fucking years. I've been waiting for your construction to get nuts, old lady.
Does it bother you to know that I have fiber at my house? And for hold on,
it's not.
And for a number of years after when we were the first house in our neighborhood, for a number of years the fiber wasn't used at all, and then I actually had to have them. Sure West, because that's what it was. No, it was Roseville's internet services back when it first started. They had to run a copper cable to my house in order for me to get broadband because the fiber wasn't active.
They're going right way for a smack.
So I've had copper, and then I got to switch to fiber much later.
I'm going to just go dig a very small
Does
trench.
That bother you?
I'm just a very small trench all the way to Mahaney.
There you go.
Be like, there you go. I dug it.
I kind of, I mean, it's it's all about cost and recovery of costs.
Mm.
So I don't know what there's definitely a much larger cost involved in the installation than I think we give them credit for.
Could be.
And maybe that's part of the problem. And it's not just digging trenches and putting lines, it's infrastructure and everything else.
Man, there's already sewer lines all throughout this neighborhood.
And that's part of the problem because they got to figure out where those are too.
Just put the tube in the sewer tube.
As long as it transmits light, I don't care.
Yeah, just blinky blinky.
Yeah.
Give me the data.
I mean, I've got the opposite problem. I've got 2 gig internet, but I don't have a router that handles 2 gig or any equipment in my home that will do 2 gig.
Just terrible.
That's my problem.
We're at time.
Chandler wanted me to upgrade to a Amplify HD, which was the Alien version, which is actually a really cool little router.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at it, I'm like, yeah, it's really cool. And it was on sale. And I'm like thinking about it, and I go, oh, wait, what's the WAN connection? Oh, it's a 1 gig? No.
Oh, that's for plebes.
Yeah, I'm like, I need a 2.5 WAN connection to make it worth my while.
Is that because he wanted yours as you rotated out?
No, he has an Alien already.
Oh.
Yeah. But I was like, I'm not going to buy a new router until it's 2 gig on the WAN.
That makes sense.
At least. So,
do you have, for anyone listening, as we wrap up, a good quickie Christmas idea gift?
Do I?
Yeah. You'd be like, hey, you can't, like last year, we had like
condoms. No,
keep it wrapped, kids. Like the thing that goes on the side of the drill that holds the bits that we've done. Like anything that's like a good. Anything you ran across this year, you're
is there a price? Is there a price?
I don't know. Something that if someone needs an idea, something this year where you're like, you should look into this. It doesn't not too bad as nothing.
No.
The lights, the headlight for me.
Oh yeah. Okay.
With the motion on and off.
Yeah.
I don't not like headlights. I have, I've used those for camping. I've used those countless times out here in the yard to work on stuff. I think I bought 3 for, it was 20 something bucks. Has really been is super helpful.
Yeah.
Like to not have to, like if you're working on something and you're inverted, like on a truck or something, and you bump like
in Top Gun.
Yeah, because the headlights are usually inverted. I was keeping up foreign relations.
Yeah,
I was giving him the bird. The finger. Yeah, I know the finger goose. Okay, but the headlight. Ask me if I've seen it a number of times.
You haven't.
The headlight tends to be like a cumbersome thing that, like, as you're looking at something, it kind of gets in the way if you're working in close quarters. This thing, and plus you may have to like touch it to turn it on and off, and now it's greasy. Blah, blah, blah.
I always touch it to turn it on.
Yeah, you just got to pull it. It's one of those pull starts. The hand motion to turn on the light and then turn it off, and the slim form factor of the light itself.
Yeah.
It's just so handy.
Right.
I didn't know. It's like
you didn't know how handy it was going to be.
The unlocking of your Mac with your watch.
Yeah.
I didn't know how handy it would be until I had used it and been underneath something and went, I just need and then it turns on, and now I don't need it, and you turn it off. So you're not fumbling with the button, and you're like, oh, this thing has like 6 different fucking modes, and now I'm in a fucking discotheque rave in Morocco kind of thing. Like, no, I just on.
Or when the red light comes on, you're like, well, I'm not a hooker.
He told me
Hold on.
it was free.
I'm just cycling through.
Shit.
Get off of my crotch.
Give me a bib. God, that was this kind of taxi? I didn't know.
Jiminy Christmas, people. How does it just came on? It was on for half a second.
I didn't know Fuckber was the porno version of Uber. How was I supposed to know?
Damn.
The fuck. Okay, well, that's probably on me. My bad. I was never a good speller. There you go. The motion headlights,
Yeah.
super handy.
I'm going to say an ad blocker.
Vinegar. Hashtag not a sponsor.
Yeah. It's only $2.
Any number of microphone or smartphone holders by Ulanzi.
Actually, I will say the handiest shit for me, and especially with iOS 17, is when you have a MagSafe charger and you put your phone on the MagSafe charger but sideways, and it comes up with like the nighttime like what do you call it?
Night clock, like a
the
nightstand clock.
The nightstand clock. Oh fuck! Get one of those. If you don't have one of those, buy it for everybody you know. It's the coolest shit ever. I love it.
Buy an iPhone?
Well, no, it's one of the chargers, the MagSafe for your iPhone
if you're not
friends.
using a mag.
Yeah.
Okay. You're like, my tip to you is to buy an Apple product and get into it. Using a MagSafe.
Yes, please.
Yeah, just, $1,000. It's easy.
Not sponsored.
Yeah, hashtag not a sponsor. Hey, Tim Apple?
Yeah. That would be all right, sponsor.
Anyway, on that note, you should wash your ass.
Wash your hands.
Return the cart.
Check your oil, Tony.
Register to vote.
Make the call if you need it.
Stay up to date on your shots.
Pick up a broom.
And do the kindness.
And have a great Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Because we won't see you until after Christmas.
After Christmas.
Yeah.
But before New Year.
But before New Year. Yeah.
Thanks for listening, everybody.